Ellison's cave is the 12th deepest cave in the United States. It stretches for about 12 miles in length with a total vertical descent of 1,063 feet. Compared to other caves, this one stands out as unique due to its cave drop known as Fantastic. That name cannot get any more perfect for this cave drop as it is the deepest vertical tunnel in the continental US. It plunges 586 feet straight into the ground. To put it into perspective, the deepness of Fantastic is about twice the size of the Statue of Liberty. Now, you probably have an idea, right? It is one deep tunnel. And that is exactly the reason why most explorers find Ellison's cave to be unfathomably dangerous. One wrong move and you'll fall to your death. Gear failure must never happen if you were ever brave enough to rappel down this cave drop. Only if you are an experienced caver who takes all the safety precautions in the world, you could explore this cave safely, but that unfortunately is not the case all the time. There have been several gruesome accidents over the years, one of which is what happened to the group of students in today's story. So let me tell you about it. On February 12th in 2011, it was a Saturday afternoon when Grant Lockenbach and Michael Wayne Peary with a group of friends began exploring Ellison's cave. It is located in Walker County on Pigeon Mountain, Georgia. Grant would have turned 21 years old in a couple of days, so he and his friends were there celebrating the coming birthday with a trip to the northwest Georgia mountains. These mountains are the home to hundreds of caves, but out of all of them, these kids chose the wrong one to explore as not a single one of them was adept at caving. They were just there for fun with limited and novice experience in the sport. Either way, they did not give much thought to all the possible ways that they could get hurt or even die in the worst case scenario. So, from the parking lot, they had a 30-minute hike to the Pigeon Mountains. That day it was cold as the area was sprinkled with snow as it was winter time. To make matters worse, the group had to climb a mountain to a higher elevation to reach the mouth of the cave as it was located inside the mountain itself. Now, if we know anything about high elevations, it means colder weather. Everybody was wearing t-shirts and shorts, certainly not prepared for chilly weather. So, as they were ascending, the closer they got to the entrance, the colder and colder it got. By the time they were at the cave's mouth, they were all shivering. But believe me, it was not too bad compared to what happens to them next. The group was consisted of 5 men and 5 women. Everybody before entering the cave stopped and spent some time at the top of the cave where there was a creek. According to David Ashburn, who was the local county director of emergency services, these students were there to not only explore caves but also rappel in the area. But their plan went downhill the second they entered Ellison's cave. It all started with one little mistake. Someone lost a bag and a rope which fell over the edge of the cave drop. Now, we don't know who actually dropped them or whose bag or rope it was, but you could assume that they were Grant's as he was the one who decided to go in and after them. He ignored all the dangers and the extremely low probability of him actually finding the bag and rope as they were probably must have fallen hundreds of feet into the pit. Regardless, at about 1 p.m., he put on his gear and strapped himself in to slide down with the use of a rope. As his feet were against the cave wall, he slowly descended down into one of the deepest cave drops in the world. For someone with no experience, he was not too bad. Grant, who was a wrestler back in high school, said on his Facebook page that he loves playing sports and doing anything challenging, which might explain his decent aptitude in caving. Impressively, within minutes, he had already scaled down 125 feet and only got a few hundreds more to go. But he couldn't keep that momentum for too long. He got distressed and entangled in the rope. But that was not the only issue. Something what he and his friends didn't know was that there was an ice-cold waterfall inside the cave. And where Grant got stuck is exactly where it comes out of the cave. So now he's in the path of this waterfall, freezing to death. He cried out for help. He sounded terrified, but no one knew what to do. After a while, Michael had enough and decided to go down and help his friend himself. So he strapped himself to the same rope and began descending. It is not clear whether Michael was able to reach Grant, but somewhere along the way he also got entangled in the rope. Now both are crying out for help, unable to do anything. They couldn't ascend or descend. It got colder as the time passed. The rest of the 8 friends remained at the edge of the pit trying to figure what to do. They communicated with the 2 but panicked, not being able to help. Now you might be wondering why no one else tried to go in and help. The reason for that is unclear. It could have been either lack of gear or just rational thinking, because no one knew what they were doing. They did not know safety protocols or even how to rappel down properly, so they simply felt hopeless. Either way, they kept yelling down to Grant and Michael. This went on for about 20 to 30 minutes. Then, the voices of Grant and Michael began slowly fading away. By the time it was 2:20 p.m., Grant and Michael went complete silent. The group was in utter shock and panic. Some called 911 and some ran to get help. It was an absolute devastation. Some believe both have been untangled and free-fallen to their deaths, but according to authorities, that was untrue. Reportedly, they have suffered from hypothermia. It is a condition when your body loses heat faster than it can produce heat, causing a fairly low body temperature. Within minutes, a rescue team arrived on the scene. What seemed like a simple recovery mission ended up being an 8-hour-long full-scale recovery operation. Ashburn said they were wearing t-shirts and shorts, so it was obvious that the low temperature in the cave caused hypothermia. Plus, the waterfall in the cave was fed by melting snow. Grant and Michael never stood a chance at surviving. In fact, even the other 8 students also had to be treated for the beginning stages of hypothermia. Ellison is not a place for people with no experience. They made a bad decision to go to a cave that was well above their skill level, and they pushed the limitations of their abilities almost immediately. Either way, this will go down as a tragedy that could have easily been avoided. I think risky sports like caving or even diving requires an immense amount of common sense and critical thinking. Never take such sports so lightly. The cost of even the slightest mistake could be your life. Just keep that in mind. So yeah, with that, we've got to the end of the story. My name is Pavin and I make videos of dark and thriller themed stories just like this one. I upload a new video every week, and also I wanna thank every single one of you for subscribing and showing me a lot of support since I started this channel. It means a lot, so thank you guys. I just wanted to put that out there. Alright then, I'll see you soon in my next video of Night Dangers, and until then, stay safe out there and goodbye.